Step into the world of hidden treasures, where every coin tells a story. Join us as we uncover the mystery, the history, and the true value of the rare American coins, and the remarkable Australia 20-cent 2010 coins that collectors around the world search for. The story of the Australia 20-cent coin from the year 2010 is not only a story about a single piece of circulating currency, but also a window into the heritage, culture, economy, and artistry of an entire nation. When we look at this coin, we are not simply holding a small circular disc of metal, but we are in fact connecting to decades of history that stretch far back into the early days of Australian coinage and the broader history of the Commonwealth nations. The 20-cent coin of Australia was first introduced in 1966 as part of the changeover from the old imperial system of pounds, shillings, and pence to the new decimal currency system, which came into effect on the 14th of February 1966, a day that Australians often remember as C-Day or Changeover Day. The introduction of the 20-cent coin alongside the other decimal coins was one of the most significant monetary reforms in Australian history. The design of the 20-cent coin was entrusted to Stuart Devlin, who was appointed as the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen. Devlin became a key figure in the development of modern Australian coinage, and his work on the 20-cent coin is still celebrated to this day. On the reverse of the coin, we see the iconic platypus, an animal unique to Australia, and one of the most fascinating creatures in the animal kingdom, with its duck-bill webbed feet and semi-aquatic lifestyle. The platypus symbolizes the uniqueness of Australian wildlife and culture. Devlin's decision to feature it on the coin has given the 20-cent coin an identity that has endured for more than 5 decades. By the year 2010, the 20-cent coin had already become a standard in Australian currency, and millions of coins had been minted since 1966, yet each year carries its own story and mintage numbers, and collectors often pay close attention to the details that make one year's issue more desirable or harder to find than another. The 2010 20-cent coin was produced at a time when the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra was not only focusing on everyday circulating currency, but was also heavily invested in producing commemorative coins and special issues for collectors and investors. The Royal Australian Mint, established in 1965, has been the sole producer of Australia's circulating coins since decimalisation, and over the years, it has built a global reputation for quality craftsmanship and innovation in coin design and production. In 2010, several important events shaped the Australian numismatic scene. One of them was the continued production of coins to mark the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, who remained the head of state. Her portrait, as featured on the obverse of the 20-cent coin in 2010, was designed by Ian Rank Broadley, whose effigy of the Queen had been introduced in 1998 and continued to be used on Australian coins until 2018. The Rank Broadley portrait was notable for its realistic representation of the Queen, with greater detail and depth compared to earlier portraits, and many collectors appreciate the 2010 issues for carrying this specific design. Another important detail to note about the 2010 20-cent coin is its composition and specifications. Like other standard circulation 20-cent coins, it was struck in cupro-nickel and alloy, consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The coin has a diameter of 28.65 millimeters, a weight of 11.3 grams, and a thickness of 2.5 millimeters. These physical properties are consistent with the series as a whole, but it is the condition, rarity, and context of the minting year that often determine its appeal to collectors. When examining the rarity of the 2010 20-cent coin, one must consider both the total mintage and the survival of coins in higher grades of preservation. The Royal Australian Mint produced millions of 20-cent coins in 2010 for circulation, making it a common coin in everyday use. However, what makes coins from this year interesting is the presence of uncirculated and proof versions that were released in special sets for collectors. These proof coins, struck with mirrored fields and frosted designs, showcase the artistry of the platypus. motif in its highest quality, and remain highly sought after by collectors worldwide. Beyond its physical attributes, the 2010 20-cent coin serves as a snapshot of Australia's cultural and economic environment. At the time, during this period, Australia was navigating the global financial landscape in the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis. Yet the Australian economy proved to be more resilient than many other economies around the world, largely due to strong trade links with Asia and resource exports. Coins produced during these years carry the unspoken story of economic survival, national resilience, and the steady continuation of traditions such as minting coins with native wildlife designs. As collectors examine the 2010 20-cent coin, they also place it in the larger framework of Australian decimal coinage trends, for example, the Royal Australian Mint often used the 20-cent denomination for special commemorative designs, such as the famous 1981 Charles and Diana Royal Wedding Coin or the 2001 Federation coins. Yet in 2010, the Mint adhered to the standard platypus design for the circulation coin, while offering collectors commemorative issues in other denominations. This decision underscores the enduring status of the platypus 20-cent as a symbol that requires no alteration to remain relevant and iconic. For coin historians, the 2010 20-cent coin also opens a window into studying die varieties, errors, and minting anomalies, which can greatly increase the value of individual coins. Errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, double strikes, and cuds have all been reported in various years of the 20-cent coinage, and collectors meticulously search their change for such rare pieces. While the 2010 coin is not especially famous for major errors, diligent collectors know that any coin year can yield surprises, and error coins often command strong premiums at auction. Another aspect of the 2010 20-cent coin's importance is its place in the timeline of obverse designs. As mentioned earlier, it features the Ian Rank Broadley portrait, but by 2019, the new portrait of the Queen by Jody Clark was introduced, meaning that collectors now see the 2010 coin as part of the later years of the Rank Broadley era. When looking back decades from now, this distinction will become even more significant as different generations of coinage are categorized by the obverse portraits of the monarch. Collectors from outside Australia also value the 2010 20-cent coin because of its role in international coin swaps and collections. Many numismatists around the world try to build complete sets of Australian decimal coins, and for them, each year has importance. Even common issues like the 2010 coin contribute to the completeness and continuity of a collection. The platypus design has also become globally recognizable and is often admired for its aesthetic quality, which combines movement artistry and national symbolism in one flowing image. As we continue to study the history of this coin, we see that the 2010 issue represents continuity, tradition, and craftsmanship. It may not have been a year of dramatic design changes or low mintages, yet its significance lies in its role as part of the enduring story of Australian decimal coinage. Every coin minted in 2010 and placed into circulation was handled by thousands of Australians in their daily lives, becoming part of countless transactions and exchanges, silently carrying with it the history of the nation and the vision of the artists who created it. When narrating the story of the 2010 20-cent coin, we must also reflect on the broader theme of what makes coins important to us as human beings. Coins are not merely tools of commerce, they are pieces of art, miniature sculptures of national identity that travel from hand to hand, generation to generation. And the 2010 20-cent coin is a testament to this truth. In the years to come, collectors will continue to preserve these coins, whether in pristine mint condition or as well-worn circulated examples, each with its own unique journey.